Howdy folks, welcome back to the Tank Destroyer section of the replay contest in World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. This is Chris79 in his Ferdinand. It's one of the two German Tier 8 tank destroyers, the other one obviously being the Jagdpanther 2. And it's an encounter battle on Ensk. Now, your typical tank destroyer style of gameplay generally involves sitting in or behind a bush, taking pot shots at whatever your team is scouting out for you. But Ensk is one of those games where that sort of play style is strictly limited because there just aren't really positions where you can do that, and you have to play more aggressively. And in a machine like the Ferdinand or the Jagdtiger, with your very, very strong frontal armour, you really can afford to take advantage of that kind of game style. So Chris knows he's been spotted here. So instead of sitting in the bush, he moves back 15 metres from the bush, so he can still shoot at targets that his team are spotting, but they won't see him even if he fires. But the guys up ahead aren't that dumb. They're not popping out into the open. And that Jagdtiger 88 over there has been tracked at a pretty dodgy angle. He's taken continual fire there from, well, that's probably the Super Pershing and that T25/2, and his tracks are just not coming back up. They keep crippling him so he can't turn, and he's not going to last much longer. Yeah, the Super Pershing, they're all just queuing up to take shots at this fella. So Chris is going to take advantage of using his cover. He's about to die. The question is, does everybody else know he's there? No, they don't. Otherwise that T-34-85 would never have come out. Well, now they do know he's there. You can still use this fella as cover from any enemy tanks to the right. No, there's nobody spotting them, and he doesn't seem to have line of sight to any of them. Enemy team's capping, but they're capping far too early on in the match. And he just bounced a shot from something there, probably that Jagdpanzer 4, so time to move. And on a small map like Ensk, but which is just, it's a maze in the town, there's cover absolutely everywhere. You can really take advantage. Actually, that's not the right way to say it. The relatively low speed of the Ferdinand isn't such a drawback, because the map's quite small and you can take advantage of driving on roads where you can reach your maximum speed quite easily. And this 105mm gun is absolutely devastating, as you can see. Okay, over here there's an AMX 1375 and a KV4. 1375 looks like he's reloading. No, he's taking pot shots at that KV4, so he is loaded. And we really don't want to give our side or rear to that AMX 1375. Aha! KV5's going after him. Okay, flank is covered, let's go after this KV4. 1375 is going to have a devil of a time trying to kill a KV5. Let those two duke it out, and we'll nail this KV4. 1375 is making a run for it. It looks like there's a couple of tank destroyers trying to get away too. Two heavies giving chase, so let's go around. Keeping an eye on the map, you can see which way they're going. Let's head them off at the pass. .75's down, Jagdpanther's about to pop around this corner. Let's get ready to give him the good news. Oh, hello! by, will you? There we go. Still a pretty even match. Scores a 9-8. Yeah, it was unlucky actually. Even though he was firing on the move, his aim reticle covered most of that T25. But it missed anyway, so make sure you get him with a second shot. Easy. Now the KV-4, who is doomed. Look at all these tanks. Trying to find the right spot. Yeah, Lower Glacis isn't particularly well angled. Well, that's looking a bit better. Now we're winning 11-8. And where are the rest of the enemy team? 3 tank destroyers and artillery. Guys are pinging the number 1 deployment zone on the map, and yeah, that's... We've basically been everywhere else. They have to be down there. Some guys heading out north to fan out and check their deployment zone. Make sure they're not hidden up there. The all heavily damaged tanks are starting to cap. Oh, there's their arty. Tiger's going to have him. Where's that T-28? There he is. Alright, this should be interesting. T-28 and a Ferdinand both shooting at each other from the front. This could be pretty pointless. Chris angles and bounces, and he's not going to sit here trading shots with a T-28 from the front. So he's going to take advantage of his reload, get out of there. Oh, an SU-100. He'll just take a hit anyway. Stop to kill the SU-100. Get out of the T-28's line of fire. Because you're playing to the T-28's advantages, and that's not smart. Can't really blame that KV-4 for sitting in the cap circle, not with the amount of health he has. Let's go and get this Jagdpanzer. Oh, he's fired. Right. Not that he really presents much of a threat with his L56 88mm gun anyway. And even if he did get a lucky penetration, we've got 1,000 health left. We can take a 240 damage hit. And now all they have left is the T-28. And Chris isn't dumb enough to try to take him out frontally. He's going to go around the flank. And normally you get into this sort of situation on a Ferdinand, you're just not really fast enough to do anything about it. But Ensk is such a small map, and there's so much cover and flanking opportunities provided by these buildings that you absolutely can get away with it. And that was a patch 7.5 replay, as you can see by the end of battle results screen, so that's a bolter's medal for Chris. Not bad at all. 16 fired, 14 hit, and when each of these shots are doing around 500 damage, that's a lot of damage done to the enemy team. Took 4 hits, only one of which really appears to have done any damage. Very, very tough machine, the Ferdinand. It's always a joy to play. And getting onto a map like Ensk, where you are forced to play it more aggressively than you normally would play a tank destroyer, especially one as slow and lumbering as the Ferdinand, is a really refreshing change of pace. So, well done, Chris. Good game. Next up, we've got Arthix in his SU-12254, Russian Tier 9 tank destroyer. Had to think there for a moment. One of the new Russian tank destroyers that was introduced in patch... Well, which patch was it? 7.5? 8? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. They've been around for a while now. I like this machine. It's probably, if I was to go down the lighter Russian tank destroyer line, this machine would be the only reason I'd do it. It's very mobile. It's very, very well armoured, sloped and angled from the front. And that gun is an absolute killer. It's the same gun that you get on the IS-8, the STI, the IS-4, but it's more accurate, and it's already one of the most accurate Russian heavy tank guns. In this tank destroyer configuration, it's even more accurate. It has a faster aiming time. It's a bloody good gun. So, standard battle on Redshire. Arthix's team has started from the southern spawn location. And he's setting up to cover any likely avenues of approach from the south, as well as long-range sniping fire at any enemy tank destroyers or snipers on the hill over there that get spotted. Now, this is interesting, and this is a very, very fast tank destroyer. Totally unlike the SU-152, ISU-152, etc, etc. And oh, that's bad news for that Tiger. Caught in the middle of an open field. That was unlucky for him. Scouts came up over the hill and spotted him just at the worst possible moment for him as he was crossing the field to get into a defilade position in the river there. Oh well. Unlucky. There's an E75 down there. Yeah, you don't really have a shot at him. And enemy artillery is pretty damn good in this game, as you're going to see. Well, they're racking up the kills already. But keep an eye on the map. Look at that massive cluster of enemy heavies and mediums coming from the north eastern side. And look at what we have covering that side. We just got one less. They've nailed our AMX 1390. We've got one heavy tank on the hill and a tank destroyer running for cover with his gun pointing the wrong way behind him. And basically everybody on that hill is now running for their lives. Which is, you know, fair, because it's a tier 9 game and the only things up there are a Tiger and a Jagdpanther. So Arthix spots the threat and comes back to deal with it. 4502 up there as well. Also paying attention to what's going on. Oh, somebody just beat the crap out of that Ferdinand on the hill. 4502 finishes him off. Good shot. And here we go. We've got, what do we have? We've got a Panther. 4502A. Okay. One Panther less, but still that's not the only tank coming over that hill. An IS-3. An IS-8. I'll guarantee you there's more. Oh, there we go. They're coming over in force. DB's going for it. Such a fast tank. They've nailed the Jagdpanther. He just could not get into cover in time. Now luckily our artillery have moved and they're actually sitting behind us. But the only real target these guys have down there is that Tiger 2, and he can give as good as he gets. At least until enemy arty start getting involved. And they've got all sorts of great support and flanking fire from the hill up here, but now they've all been spotted. Artillery are going to start ranging in on them. Oh, two lucky bounces there. Well, look, really had nothing to do with it. See where they hit. One actually ricocheted off the side there as well. Now this is what artillery loves. Lots of high value targets all sitting right next to each other. And Arthix knows this as well as anybody else. That's why he's putting some distance between himself and those two heavies. Interesting little note here in patch 8.2, those knocked over trees over to our front and right, they will provide cover. They currently don't. But in patch 8.2, any trees that have been knocked over will provide camouflage bonuses. Come on, Mr. Tiger 2. Give me that big old fat lower glacis. Thank you. Okay, now we're pretty much still stuck where the team started off. We haven't even been able to push through over on the west. We're getting rolled up here on the east in our own base, but we're fighting back this counter-attack. But Arthix does not want to sit around on top of this hill waiting for artillery to start finding their range. So there's an IS-8 and a KV-5 still over there. And you can't attack the enemy base while you've got 2 enemy heavies sitting within spitting distance of your own base. Oh, that one's going to leave a mark. And here comes the artillery. Okay, they've killed the IS-8s. There's just the KV-5 up there now. And these guys are getting hammered by artillery. I mean, what artillery wouldn't be shooting at a cluster of tanks like this? That KV-5 has to go. Well, that IS isn't dead. Oh, we'll soon fix that. Okay, somebody else fixed that. Right, enough of this crap. Somebody needs to grow a pair of balls, go down there and kill that KV-5. Look at the amount of artillery fire these guys are taking. You can't sit up there just waiting for artillery to finish you all off. Hello, Mr. KV-5. Say hello to my little friend. Ah, that one actually went wide. He's aiming for the little machine gun turret there, and it actually... Look at how much of his aiming reticle is not covering that tank. And that's exactly where that shot went. Off to the right there. Right, KV-5's dead. About bloody time. And there's that E-75. One of the first tanks that we spotted, and he's taken advantage of all the concentration of fire over on this side to slip around. But he ain't alone, or rather he is alone, he's just not alone. You know, check out behind us. Now, Arthix has spotted these guys as well, and this is probably the only really poor decision he makes in this game. He goes after this E-75, exposing his rear to those guys behind him. And this is where he takes most of his damage. Now he's reloaded, but he's trying to get some distance so he can get the gun down into the lower glacis of that E-75, and he does. But look at the beating he took while he was doing it. It's 23 health. And that bounce that could have killed him. There's a Yag Panther up in the woods there. He's going to need to be careful from now on, especially with artillery like that in play. 5 kills between the two of them, and God alone knows how much actual damage done as well. Disappointing damage roll there. Less than 400. And again. There are tier 6 heavy tanks with guns that can do more damage than that. Come on. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Still lowish damage rolls over and over and over. Bit disappointing. And he's not sitting still. Because I'll guarantee that IS-3 will have spotted him before he died. And there's two choices here for enemy artillery to shoot at. There's Arthix here on 4 kills with 2% of his health left. You don't even have to hit him to kill him with artillery. Well, that Tiger 2 over there on 5 kills with substantially more than 2% of his health left. So, you know, if I was enemy artillery, I'd be aiming for Arthix. You know, given the choice between Arthix and the Tiger 2. You're just a more dangerous, easier to kill target. Yeah, you see Arthix is hiding in the... he thinks he's hiding, he's not. That's a fallen tree. Actually, no, my bad. There's a fallen tree next to this bush. This bush is actually cover. Sorry, Arthix. My mistake. But like I said in patch 8.2, that fallen tree next to him will be capable of providing cover as well. Now the Tiger 2's in a... It depends where the enemy artillery is. They've shown themselves to be reasonably intelligent. He's getting hit by the Jagdpanther. But because he's on the reverse slope of this hill, artillery is going to have a devil of a time hitting him. And the Tiger 2 driver seems to know that just as well as I do. And Arthix can see what he's doing. He's trying to flush that Jagdpanther out. So he goes around. Very, very aware that the Jagdpanther almost certainly doesn't know where he is yet. Although any second now he will. It's just a question of beating your gun depression, getting that gun down on target, and don't miss. There you go. And keep moving. Because while artillery would have a hard time hitting that Tiger 2 from that position, they will have no problem whatsoever hitting you. And by the sound of it, they just did hit the artillery. Yep, shot coming from over there. Did you see the trajectory of the tracer? Artie took 2 hits. Tiger 2 took 2 hits from Artie there. Good little bit of teamwork between the two of them. And there's one, and there's two. And they're obviously still aiming, still loading. And again, another low damage roll. And leaves bloody artillery on 6 health. I mean, seriously, what? And now for the M41, who has 5 kills and has just wasted his shot. And don't miss. And there you go. And that was 6,800 damage done to the enemy team. Top Gun and Confederate, all in one game. So Arthix and the SU-122-54, very well played. Next up, it's an encounter battle on steps, tier 6 game, and we have the Black Baron in his M18. There's a Dickermax on the team. Ah, there he is. Watch this. T40 drives into him, so there's a first team kill. Good start. And the Black Baron 44 here in his M18 Hellcat in a Hellcat platoon with his friend Maraudica. So we're -0-1. Good start. Just lost to South 40 as well as that T40. So we've lost all our tier 4 tank destroyers except for the one Hetzer. Now, I'm going to pull back to an external camera view for this game, just so you can see the amount of times artillery make it their mission in life to kill the Black Baron here. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually run out of ammo shooting at him. And yes, we are completely getting our asses kicked. We are -1-4. We haven't killed a single enemy tank yet. There we go. First blood to us. Nailed a Stug. Marauder cut down there in the cap. Getting his ass kicked. But racking up the kills. Is he going to get... Yep, there we go. Another kill. That KV-1 who's in the cap circle, he pretty much sits there for the entire game. So, well played. So glad you could turn up. Now this Stug, who's with us, played a good game.
He's gone. Find another target.
And there's our second kill.
We nailed it bad.
There we go. Just so you can see what tanks we're actually shooting at. So there's a Sherman Jumbo nailed. Here comes Artie. First, the concentrate and fire on this Stug.
Penetration.
Although, interesting that all 3 Artie shots have hit the exact same spot on the ground, rather than the Stug itself.
They're hit. We nailed it bad.
Artillery finally nails the Stug.
It could break any minute. The radio man is down.
And there goes our red shirt.
5 vehicles.
Nailed by this T-40. Very, very accurate fire, and of course artillery wants to get stuck in too.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
So that T-40 was well played. He's basically done all of this damage. Killed a radio operator. Taken us down to 44% health. And if he hadn't bounced a couple of shots, might have killed us. There's Artie again. Yep, KV-1. Still sitting in the cap. Has been sitting there the entire game. And has basically done nothing but defend himself against one enemy tank who tried to rush the cap. And that's it. And he's not going to move. He's going to sit there the entire game and leave winning the game up to the Black Baron. Well, there's Top Gun. 2 artillery left. Can we get them before this selfish arsehole finishes capping? Well, there's one.
Enemy vehicle knocked down.
One left. So let's check the usual spots. Now he's only tier 3. So he's probably not going to have the range to have been shelling us while sitting, you know, in the places where you typically find tier 5 and higher artillery back here. timer's running out. Speed things up a little. He's not back here. We're up to 80% base cap. Come on, you little bastard, where are you? You're going to pay for messing my paintwork. 90%. 95, there he is. Can we do it? Of course he can.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
And base captured. So, 8 kills. 10 kills between the platoon. Not helped by a retard in one of the biggest heavy tanks on the team who basically sat the entire match in the capture circle, AFK for all the difference he made, leaving it to a lone M18 to run around and win the game. So, well played, the Black Baron, in his M18 Hellcat on steps. Next up, you may remember the Crab 40 here in his T28 prototype. You may recall in the heavy tank replays he submitted some pretty damn impressive games too. Here he is in his T28 prototype, American Tier 8 tank destroyer in a Tier 8 standard battle on Ruinberg. No it isn't, it's Erlenberg. Oh bloody hell, do pay attention, Jingles. So we're going to speed things up here because he's in a T28 prototype and crawling around at 15 kilometers per hour is going to get boring real soon. I've got one of these machines and I do like it. I mean, it's an absolutely just god-awful grind. And the only real way of making the grind less bearable is if you've gone down the non-turreted American tank destroyer line at least as far as the T25AT and unlocked the 105mm gun. Because you start off on this thing with the 90mm gun, you have to unlock, by grinding the T28 prototype, the 105mm gun that the T25AT gets at Tier 7, and which the T29 heavy tank gets at Tier 7. But even if you've unlocked it on the T29 heavy tank, it's a different version of the gun. It's the tank destroyer version, which makes this one of the most god-awful grinds in the game. But once you get this 120mm gun, oh man, it's suddenly all the pain becomes worth it. As you're going to see. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now there's no artillery in this game, which is good, because artillery loves killing open-topped American tank destroyers. So there's our first kill. And these guys are in full retreat. Tiger, there's our second kill. Oh no, sorry, it was a VK361H. Same frontal armour as a Tiger. Tiger P down there. Another Tiger, an IS-3. And the frontal armour on the T28 prototype is very, very good. But you still have to angle it. Although, you need to be careful. There's a massive hit on that Tiger. Because the side armour is very, very poor on this thing. So, yeah, you do need to kind of angle the front of this thing, but you cannot angle it much. Otherwise, even at very, very steep angles, they're going to penetrate your side. Aiming at the cheek of the pike nose on an IS-3. Oh, yes. Good hit. And he's tracked. Can we reload before he gets his tracks up? Hell yeah. 4 kills. And you tend to find that when you're playing the T28 prototype, you're playing it in one of two ways. You're either camped at a choke point, just battering down anything that tries to attack from the front, or you're playing it very, very aggressively. Moving, stopping, shooting. Moving, stopping, shooting. Because it's so slow, you have to keep moving. 5 kills. There goes that target. P. 3601H putting some serious shots into that 3001P, who's just sitting there and really should be getting into cover. Sounds like he took another hit there. Now, oh, there's the 3601. Oh, that one bounced. Now there, you see that shot he took? That actually came from... Oh, this is going to bounce. Shooting at the turret roof at an angle like that. Yeah, and it did bounce. Now, he just took a hit there, and it bounced. But the hit came from this direction. There's another one. Somebody is up here. Now, I don't know if he's noticed that, although he's a good player, I imagine he has. And of course, the further forward you move, the more you increase the likelihood that whoever is bouncing at you from long range is going to start penetrating. So this is where it starts getting a little risky. Because if he turns to angle his armour against that 3001P, whoever's shooting at him from over on the left there is going to start putting shots in his side. So he's got some good cover here against whatever it was that was shooting at him. But he needs to be aware. Another Tiger P. Oh, good hit. He's on 7 kills. Somebody stop this guy. Oh, another good hit. Come on, can we kill that Tiger P as well? Oh, he's tracked. Okay, he's tracked, which means he probably hasn't moved. 8 kills. And there it is. It was an M6. By the look of it, he's got the 90mm gun. But now he's dead. 9 kills. And all they have left is a T-44. And there is no way you are catching that T-44. Not with 4 friendly tanks swarming him. Although the T-44 might be down, but he ain't out. And he's going to probably nail that AMX M4 before he goes down. And, yep, there it goes. And KV-1S finishes him off. So, the Crab 40, in an exceptionally well-played T-28 prototype game. Although, admittedly, the team played well too. Very, very, very impressive assault up around the northwestern side of the map there, and just didn't stop moving. Just kept moving forward, piling the fire on, and that's what you have to do when you're driving one of these things because it's so incredibly slow. And like I said, it is an awful grind until you get that 120mm gun on this tank. But when you do get that 120mm gun, well, the results speak for themselves. So we're going to round things off here with Snakebite 36 in his Ferdinand. It's a standard battle on Malinovka. Tier 8 game. 4 Tier 8s on each side. And the rest of the teams made up with Tier 7s, Tier 6s, Tier 5s, and I'm very, very unlucky, Tier 4 Scout on each team. Although Malinovka is one of those games where even if you are in a Tier 4 light tank in a Tier 8 game, you can still make a difference if you just scout effectively. Unfortunately, our Tier 4 light... Actually, no. I'm not sure where he's gone. The Chaffee seems to have parked his ass on this island. It's an interesting choice. I've never seen anybody do that before. Although sometimes you see artillery parking over there. Light tank drivers? Is that a good place to go? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Speed things up here until Snakebite actually gets involved in the fight. Well, the A20 looks like he just got himself the Scout medal by driving right through the enemy deployment zone and winning the suicide lottery. It looks like there's going to be a hell of a fight on top of that hill. So our first shot misses. There wasn't really much of that KV-1S to be shooting at. As you can see, they're all protected by the by the actual terrain there. Oh, hello. KV5 going through the swamp. Interesting choice. Got no shot at him. And it doesn't look like anybody else does either. Oh, Chaffee's on his flank. Oh, Chaffee takes a big hit. Chaffee's been spotted. Yeah, that's going to hurt. Chaffee's manoeuvring to get the hell out of there. He's done his job. He's spotted the guy. Jagdpanther is also trying to maneuver. Oh, T-50. T-32 there doesn't appear to be paying any attention to the T-50 that just drove right past him. Gotcha. Okay, now back to this KV5, who has been tracked. Oh, and he's in some sort of cover there, but it ain't good enough. Pumping these shots into his engine. And where's he gone? You'd think the Jagdpanther would be attempting to spot him, but with 282 health, he really doesn't want to get hit by the KV5's gun. Oh, there he is. And he's moving again. And now he's not moving anymore. So the scores are even, it's 5-5. And there goes our SU-152. Nailed by a KV2. Okay, that's interesting. Where's the KV2 that he can spot an SU-152 from that distance? And now the team is really strung out all over the map here. There's no real concentration of firepower in any one position. Pull the scores back again. Somebody spotted us. That probably means there's either somebody in the village, and it probably wasn't that T-43 because the church was in the way, or there's somebody else down in the swamp. Chaffee's engaging the T-43. Go on, little fella. Have him. Okay, we'll give you some help. Chaffee's backing off, which is probably very wise. And you're at the stage of the game now where it's very, you know, God, what do I do? Which way do I go? Not much of that T-34 to shoot at. And that one probably missed. He was moving forward just as we fired. So right now we're just waiting, really. We've got a KV5 and an IS-3 sitting on top of the hill. And there's that KV2. T-43. Got no shot at him. And something spotted us as we came up to the church. Oh, that's more like it. Come on, Mr. T-34. Yo, yeah. Blew his tracks off. Come on, reload, finish him off. Oh, he's used a repair kit. Can we reload in time? And it bounces off the side of his... Well, just because we aimed at the right spot, that doesn't necessarily mean that's where we hit him. Yes, good shot. Good blind fire shot. Nailed that KV2. So, technically we're winning. And there's a KV5. Okay, come on. Side of the turret, we'll have that shot, no problem. And now we've been spotted. And it's probably that T-43. But bear in mind... Oh, check the map. Tank destroyer, moving up on the base. But we can't really afford to go down and do anything about it with these guys getting flanking fire at us, and there is another tank down in the swamp. There's a KV2 down there in the swamp somewhere. These guys are still sitting on the hill in no hurry to come down and take the fight to the enemy. Interesting that the scores are 9-10. There's that KV2. Suggests that there was some suiciding going on. 10-10 and there's 4 of us. Or 5 of them. Which is interesting. Oh, that was unlucky. Come on, Snakebite, have him. Wow, that T-43 got all the way down there without us spotting him. And the T-32's on fire, and he is going to die.
Enemy is hit.
And we have a very, very limited window of opportunity here when that KV-2 is going to remain spotted. In order to kill him. Gotcha.
He's gone. Find another target.
So the KV-5 is still in the village. There's a T-43 down in the woods in front of us. This is not a good spot. We're going to attempt to nail that KV-5. Yes. Okay, so the flank is now secure, and now we can go down and deal with that T-43. Although we might not need to move if we can keep him spotted.
Looks like that one went right through.
And now we are going to have to go down there if we want to kill him, because the Hummel isn't going to rush up to spot him. Tanks left on the enemy team. There's a Type 59. That T-43's got 2 kills to his name, and their artillery knows what it's doing. Although, so do we. So let's go looking for that T-43, because it's only going to take 1 more shot to kill him. And it would be a useful kill, getting rid of him, threatening our artillery. Hummel's moving up. It's very brave of him. There he is. Oh, he's in cover though. Maybe the Hummel's trying to tease him out. Although he's probably waiting for his artillery to... There it comes. That's exactly what he's doing. He's waiting for his artillery to take care of the threat for him. And he almost certainly doesn't know... There we go. Yep, he had no idea we were here. Unfortunately, now that we've revealed ourselves by killing him, their artillery knows where we are, so keep moving. Random course changes every now and then. And there's the Hummel. Oh, this could be interesting. And he misses. And so do we. Now this is going to be interesting, because we can load faster than the Hummel, but he's a lot faster than we are. And can he get into cover? Nah. Got him. So, oh, and there's the Type 59. Being chased by a KV-5. It's not often you see that happen. And we just don't really have a shot at him. And he's probably going to kill that KV-5. Yep, there he goes. So it's us and our artillery versus 1 enemy Type 59. Now this is interesting. 7 kills, by the way. What's that Type 59 going to do? Now the Type 59 is going to want to get us at close range, where he can outmaneuver us, get around us, stay close, so our artillery has to risk killing us to hit him. And if he has any sense, he's not going to get involved in a medium to long range gun battle with a Ferdinand. So how's this one going to play out? And our artillery's moving up as well. Which isn't necessarily the smart thing to do. So what's Snakebite going to do? Is he going to park in the cap circle? Get that tent and supply crate in some, as cover, and force the guy to come out after him? Nope. He's not going to announce his presence by going into the cap circle. And this is where it gets dangerous. And it's all going to depend on how good this Type 59 driver is. Has he retreated back into the woods? Kind of looks like he has. So you might need to tease him out by going into the cap circle anyway. Yep, that's what he's doing. Now if the Type 59 there... Oh, what is he doing up there? That's interesting. Oh, that was not the smart thing to do. Not against the Ferdinand. Yep, you want to move forward so that you can get him before he gets into cover from the lie of the earth. Oh yeah, there we go. And he angles, and the Type 59 misses anyway. Oh, Type 59's in dead ground there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, bounced. Now he's pulling back to increase the distance, give him time to reload. Type 59 is going to have to try to go around him. Come on, Artie. This guy's been spotted continuously. Kill him. Artie's not firing. Artie's moving. What's he trying to do? Unless he's out of ammo, which is entirely possible. It has been a long game. There's only 50 seconds left. Gotcha! And 82% base capture, 2, so that's Invader. 8 kills, what's that? Radley Walters medal? Top Gun, great game, very, very well played. That was Snakebite, oh I've forgotten his full name. Snakebite36 from the North American server, playing an exceptionally good game in his Ferdinand in a standard battle on Malinovka. And that brings us to the end of this particular Tank Destroyer replay roundup. I will attempt to get another one up tonight, later on, so keep checking your inbox around about midnight, when we'll get another 4 games up. And the next series of videos that you're going to see are going to be the runners-up and the winner. So, as always, take care on the battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.